Okay, hello and welcome to the Pisces Full Moon Yoga. I always draw cards to kind of guide me through the class. Of course, the Pisces Full Moon is really going to be guiding us, but we will also be under the influence of Archangel Haniel, who she is the Archangel that is associated with the moon. This is from the Diana Cooper Archangel deck. So anything that I read about her will come from her deck. And then the whale, which makes sense because the Pisces full moon is very, very watery. And so we've got a water animal to join us. This is from the Archangel Animal deck by Diana Cooper. And then this one came up on Saturday in a class that I taught, so I just kept it for today. It's called Moonlight Enchantment, and it is from the Sacred Forest deck by Denise Lynn. Okay, so restorative practices, as we all know, everyone that's here, I have people online and people here on my deck from St. Louis, Missouri. So those of you that are joining on YouTube, we are doing this live right now, so you might get the recording. Okay, so the restorative yoga is more gentle, down on the ground, more relaxing. Especially, it's a good practice to have with the new moon. It's very windy here, as you can see behind me, and yeah, so I'm burning sage. I read that sage is really good for the Pisces full moon. So we've got the sage burning and a couple of incense sticks of it, and the a bundle of it here. So that's going to be carrying our messages up to spirit, to moon. All right. So let's begin with our legs up the wall. So those of you can go to one of the sides or you can go up against the house. There's nobody here right now, so if you go against the house, it's fine. How this looks, so what I'll do is put myself in the position and then I'm going to kind of back off and read a little bit. So how this looks is basically just put your butt up against the wall or up against. You can do this on a couch also or a chair, and then just let your legs go up. And the reason that we do this is to kind of begin to reverse the flow. So the Pisces full moon is at the end of the astrological cycle. So we are ending a year, basically, an astrological year. So we're going to reverse the flow and reset. Legs up the wall is a really good exercise to help reset. So just taking a few moments to begin by letting your breath find its natural rhythm. Everyone has a blueprint or like a fingerprint of their own rhythm of breath that is as original as your fingerprint. So just getting a sense of that rhythm that is totally yours. And letting the blood come down to the hips, to the heart. So Pisces is a sign of compassion and empathy. So since we're at the end of the year, it's a good time to ask yourself the question, what am I completing? This particular full moon makes releasing for our highest good easier and better because there is, I don't want to get too much into astrology, there's a trine, which is a placement of two planets, Mars and Pluto in the north node, so that they are complementing each other and helping us to open up to what needs to be released. So what do you need to draw the line and step over? What do you need to breathe away? Letting the back of the heart ground down the back of the sacrum, making a strong connection with Mother Earth below. Because she is also going through the same thing that we are, this contraction expansion with her rebirth. Just like you may be feeling this contraction expansion. One moment you might be in complete confusion, and another moment you might have complete clarity. It's kind of a cycle that we're going through right now with this new fifth dimensional light that is coming to Earth. It's already here, but it's coming in cycles a little bit more strongly. And the fifth dimensional energy shifts us from our head to our heart. It makes the heart the brain of the body. So breathe into your heart and let that space expand. Feeling the back of the heart now grounding down, like you have three cords, one from the back of the heart, one from the back of the head, and one from the back of the sacrum that are joining about 3 feet below you. There's an earth star chakra that grounds us. And then going down into the earth and joining the crystals, the rocks, the water, the tree roots, so that we can become more compassionate and more empathetic of their language, of the language of the earth. So Archangel Haniel is the angel of loving joy. She is a glorious turquoise color and is connected to Venus, the cosmic heart. She radiates divine feminine energy and is very accessible at full moon. She is often known as the angel of the moon. Many of you are sensitive people and are affected emotionally by the moon. And if this happens, you can call on Archangel Haniel to help restore your equilibrium. So restoring the equilibrium. So let's ask for that, to bring that equilibrium, that newness into this coming year, this coming astrological year. Then let's begin to back away from the wall just a little bit so that you can bring your knees in towards your chest and just hang on to the knees. And just take a moment to let your sacrum feel this curve. Breathe down into that area. The area of the sacrum, the hips. And then open your arms out to the side. You can move to your mat if you're at the side, at the wall. And once you get there, open your arms out to the side and then let your knees just go side to side when they're together. Just kind of rolling from one hip to the other. And then let them land on one side and go ahead and take a twist. And since we're doing a restorative practice, let's just keep this twist nice and soft, simple. Just breathing your shoulder blades down to the ground and opening your heart up towards, as if the moon was right above you. And this watery Pisces full moon is also called the moon of miracles, since the opening is so wide for expansion. We have easier access to mystery and to mortality. So there's two sides of that. So the spiritual and the human are wide open to each other. The veil that usually closes that off a little more is wide open. So breathe that into your heart, that connection to spirit. Then bring your knees up into the center, and you can roll side to side, or you can just take them directly to the other side now. And then allow this side to reset, to soften, and to open. And then bring your knees back up. Just put your feet on the ground and let your knees rest against each other for a moment. Keep your arms just open straight out from the side, just being in this receptive mode. Still imagining the moon's going to rise in about 40 minutes, 45 minutes or so. But just imagining it's right above you. And let yourself just bathe in that light. And then if you have a blanket beside you, if you don't have a blanket, you can use a pillow or something. What we're going to do is take that blanket and fold it up so that it's long ways, put it across the mat, and then it goes at the back of the heart. Your shoulders are not on the blanket. They're going to be down on the mat. And then your arms can open out. And then your legs can either extend, but if that is too much for your low back, then just bend the knees and let the knees rest against each other. So these restorative poses use props to help us relax, to help us let go. So let the props do the work, and your job is just to soften the full moon energy in order to really receive. We have to soften. So just continue to allow your body to soften. Let the skin fall away from the muscles and the muscles from the bones. Releasing the muscles in the face, the jaw. Pisces also rules the feet. So that's why it's important for us to really ground and to feel the bottoms of your feet. So if your knees are bent and they're touching the ground, feel them touch the ground. If they're not bent, outside here, we can really feel the wind traveling across the bottoms of the feet. If you're inside, just become aware of the bottoms of your feet. Then you may have some emotion come through in this watery full moon. Maybe you already have. If you're like me, you've had a couple of episodes already where you just want to run and escape, get those feet on the ground and move and run from it. So instead, we're just going to breathe with it. Whatever came up for you in this contracted part of this expansion, or what comes up for you in this practice, breathe with it. And the more that we can breathe, we can allow this flowy, watery essence of Pisces, full moon, to release our resistance to change. If you can let the back of your heart relax a little bit more, the shoulders relax a little bit more down, just letting gravity do the work. Letting the wind along with the water just wash it away. Everything but this moment right here, right now. And then put your feet on the ground if they're not there. And we're going to press down on the feet and move that blanket down now so that it's underneath your hips. And then you can extend your legs again, or you can keep the knees bent. And remembering the back of the sacrum, grounding down. Take that grounding cord all the way to the center of the earth. And just feeling the upper back now flatten a little bit more from that previous back bend. Directing the breath back into the heart. And any thoughts that might come up during this practice, if you can let go of the words and let the energy of the thoughts drop down into your heart so that you're constantly bringing your focus to the area of your heart. And while you're there breathing in your heart, asking yourself, how can I be kinder to myself and to others? Then go ahead and put your feet down if they're not already. And then just bring your knees in. Keep that blanket there for a couple breaths and just let that blanket curve your low back now to balance the back bend that we did previously. And then put your feet down on the ground. Lift your hips up, take that blanket out. And let's just have a really nice stretch at this point. So take your arms up overhead, extend your legs, flex your feet, perhaps clasp your hands together and turn your palms away from your head and press in both directions. And then bring your right knee in. And let's flex that foot and take it up towards that beautiful sky above us and circle that ankle around. Like you're drawing a circle around the perimeter of that Pisces full moon. And then go around the other way. And then stay with your foot flexed. Lift up your head and shoulders. Take your hands up a little higher on your leg. Maybe the other leg lifts up an inch or two from the ground. And then release. Both knees come down. Let your shoulders relax again and just pause. Let your arms hold your legs and your legs hold your arms. Then reach your head and shoulders up towards your forehead up towards your knees. Pull everything in really tight. Get that nice contraction going that we were talking about. That contraction right before you have the expansion. Then open it out and release the arms up overhead and lengthen the legs. Take another stretch. And then bring the left leg in, the left knee. And then flex the foot and take that foot up. Stand on the sky with that foot. Give that foot energy. Remember, Pisces is associated with the feet. And then draw a circle around that moon above you. And then the other way. And then stay with the flex in the foot. Reach up your head and shoulders. Lift the hands up a little higher. You can keep that bottom leg on the ground or you can lift it up an inch or two. Good, then both knees back in. And let's circle the knees around the hips. So another circular motion. And then go the other way. And then take the knees to one side and let's come into a side child's pose. And then whatever that top arm is, use it to bring yourself up. And come on to your hands and knees for a couple of cat tilts and cow tilts. So we're just going to move through the vertebrae, one little backbone at a time. So keep it slow. Keep it very, very intentional in how you move. And let the heart lead the movement. So the back of the heart pulls you into cat tilt. And the front of the heart moves you into cow tilt, or some people call it dog tilt. And then tuck the toes under and take the hips back towards the heels. Reach the arms out long. If the forehead can touch the ground, let it touch. Let your third eye ground now. And then slowly roll your way back up. And let's just have one downward facing dog here. So come on up. Maybe walk the dog a little bit. Bend one knee, let the opposite heel sink down. And then pause, both heels down. Really let your head go. Make that a commitment for this new year, to let the energy of the head go. And then come on down to your knees. Take that blanket that you had and put it vertically on your mat. We're going to do a belly down twist. So your hips go right up against that blanket, not on it, but right up against it. And then your heart goes down on the blanket. You can turn your head away from the knees or towards the knees. It's a little less jarring on the neck to turn the head towards the knees. Yeah. Good. And then just find a way to relax the head now. If you need another blanket or another support, some people have one hand on top of the other and are resting their head on top of the hands. We want to make sure that we're not holding in the head on this twist. So even another blanket or a pillow can work here. And now letting the front of the heart ground down, relaxing down. So about whales, these awesome evolved beings carry a level of love and joy that is currently beyond our comprehension. As they swim in the oceans, Archangel Mary pours blessings down, while Archangel Jewel sends blessings up to them from the portal of the Bermuda Triangle. Held in this shaft of pure love, they spread the light and messages of these archangels, as well as the codes of higher enlightenment and hope. Their sole mission is to maintain the divine blueprint for our oceans and hold the vibration of our planet. They choose to fulfill it in the waters where the energy of the land cannot affect them. Whales demonstrate conscious breathing and ask to give birth to live babies so that they can understand maternal love. So with your heart on the ground, connecting your heart to the heart of the earth, that ultimate maternal love. Consciously breathing it in, coming back to that question, how can I be kinder to myself and to others? Letting the wind just blow away anything that's in the way, any resistance to being kinder, any resistance to letting go, just blow it away. Let the elements take care of it. And how can I bring a little more joy in my life? Archangel Haniel is asking us that question. Where's the joy? Where's the fun? Enjoying the mystery, enjoying the mortality. Okay, so put your hands down beside you and come on up to your hands and knees. You can either go back to child's pose, or if you want another down dog, you can do a downward facing dog here. Just some kind of transitional movement. And then as you're ready, your knees are going to go now to the other side. And then let your heart come back down onto that blanket and resettle your head, either looking towards the knees, which is easier on the neck, or away from the knees is okay. But just be kind to your neck. Maybe that's one of the ways we're going to be kinder to ourselves now. So the Moonlight Enchantment card says, the lingering howl of a wolf weaves its way through the night air. The brightness of the full moon bathes the entire forest with a silvery light. Fairies and elves and spirits of fauna and flora arise for a joyous night of celebration. The forest is alight. The veil between the worlds is thin right now. Fairies, elves, angels, and spirit beings are just a thought away. The key to opening the door to these realms is to trust. All may not be as it seems. By the protective light of the moon, the magic of the universe surrounds you. Even though it is dark, the light of the moon shows you the way, reminding you to trust what you feel. So that's the key in letting this fifth dimensional energy come in and letting our heart be our brain, to trust what we feel, to drop out of the rational thoughts, the rational mind, and drop into what we feel. Okay, then turn your forehead back down to the ground. Let that third eye make the connection with the center of the earth. And then your palms beside you, down on the earth. And then begin to lift yourself back up. You can have another child pose, a down dog. And then come all the way down onto your belly. Have your blanket close by. But just take a moment first to have a longer connection, the third eye. So if you can put your forehead down, you can put it straight down on your mat, or you can stack up your hands and put your forehead on your hands. And just let your legs fall open. Let your shoulders relax down. And see if you can get a rhythm of exchange, your breath with the breath of the earth. And we're just going to slide the left leg out so that we'll be in half frog. So you can take it to a 90-degree angle. You can put the blanket underneath your knee if it's sensitive. If it's not sensitive, maybe you don't need the blanket. That always feels nice to me to have a blanket underneath there. And then you can turn your head towards that knee, the left knee. And then breathe into that inner thigh. Facilitate that opening in your hips. Very soft opening. And getting a sense of the fluids in your body, this watery Pisces. Balancing the flow of the fluids in your body. And realizing that we're working towards the exact time, 6:54 of the full moon in Pisces, when the energy is the strongest. And we're getting our body into a complete place of receptivity. So even though you may feel very relaxed right now, understanding that relaxation is a process, not a destination. So how can you relax a little more? What can you let go of? Maybe it's just a thought or an idea about yourself, your practice, your life. And some of the wisdom of the Pisces moon is that we really don't see things as they are. We see things as we are. Then let that left leg come in. And let's pick up the feet and take them up towards the sky. And just let the feet roll from side to side so that you're rolling across the top of the leg. Then let the feet come down. Maybe your hips have a little roll side to side. Get any more kinks out. And then when you're ready, open up that right leg out to the side in that half frog. Forehead down or forehead or head to the right. You could take it to the left. Again, that's a little more extreme on the neck, but for some, it's okay. And for the next few days, vow to give yourself a little bit more kindness. Vow to feel your feet on the ground. To center your grounding cord with the heart of the earth. And breathe with that connection. And ask to be shown what could be created for the highest good for this astrological new year. As we move into next month will be the Aries full moon, which is very different energy. It's very explosive because it's the beginning. It starts a new cycle. So we have one more minute until 6:54. So you can stay where you are, or if you're ready for Shavasana, you can roll over onto your back and let your heart face the sky. See how you want to take your Shavasana. Maybe the blanket can go underneath your knees. Have a little support there. Or one pose I didn't get to is to bring the feet together and open the knees out. And you can put the blanket underneath for support on your hips here. So if you want another pose, that could be an option. And that's a great way to just focus on the bottoms of the feet too. And just seeing what this moment of the most potent energy of the full moon brings in for you as we're silent in Shavasana. So outside here, the sound of the breeze, the feeling of the air traveling through can begin to awaken us from Shavasana. If you don't have that breeze, if you're inside, see if you can connect with some sensory experience. Stay with your body as you come up in your own timing. There's no rush to a seated position. And then making that connection, the sit bones to the center of the earth, the top of the head open to this Pisces full moon energy. And letting those two, center of the earth, Pisces full moon, meet in your heart. in your palms at your heart, right meeting left. So the new year, you may have some dreams tonight that have a lot of symbology. Just see what comes up for you and follow your heart this new astrological year. Namaste.